Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us for today's 5 and 5, where we look at 5 books in 5 minutes. Today we're going to be focusing on amazing nonfiction audiobooks. While each of today's books are also available in other formats, they all have fantastic audiobook versions. Each audiobook is either read by the author or has a full cast of actors playing the characters. What Happened to You is by renowned philanthropist Oprah Winfrey and child psychiatrist and neuroscientist Bruce Duncan Perry. Winfrey and Perry narrate the book together as they explore the impact of trauma and adversity on the brain and how healing must begin with a shift to asking what happened to you rather than what's wrong with you. They take a collaborative look at brain trauma and provide methods to help alleviate the potentially lifelong effects it can cause people. The book is formatted in a conversational interview format, which is why it makes for a particularly fascinating audiobook. While Perry provides the medical expertise to explain concepts and solutions, Winfrey provides insights into her own personal traumas and shares how they personally affected her long term. They show just how resilient the brain can be and provide hope for those struggling with difficult pasts. You will enjoy listening to this book if you liked Mark Woolen's It Didn't Start With You or Anne Lamont's Almost Everything. This book is available in regular print, audiobook, and in ebook and e-audio formats. As You Wish, Inconceivable Tales from the Making of the Princess Bride is by author and actor Carrie Ewells. In a 25th anniversary behind-the-scenes account of the making of the cult classic film, the lead actor shares never-before-told stories as well as interviews with Robin Wright, Billy Crystal, Mandy Patinkin, and more. Narrated by Carrie Ewells with interviews by some of the actors and directors themselves, this is an amusing, nostalgic, upbeat romp down memory lane with many of the original actors sharing heartwarming and comical stories. While the funny memories and tales of shooting the movie are priceless, it's Carrie's take on each of his fellow actors that is the real star of the show. As You Wish is a Library Journal Best Audio Nonfiction Award winner. The audiobook is unhurried and yet engrossing. It is 7 hours well spent. After you listen to As You Wish, you should also check out Box Brown's graphic novel, Andre the Giant, Life and Legend, or I'll Have What She's Having by Daniel N. Kimmel. Aside from the audiobook version, As You Wish is also available in regular print, ebook, and e-audio formats. How the Word is Passed, A Reckoning with the History of Slavery Across America is by Clint Smith. Beginning in his hometown of New Orleans, Clint Smith leads the reader on an unforgettable tour of monuments and landmarks, those that are honest about the past and those that are not, those that offer an intergenerational story of how slavery has been central in shaping our nation's collective history and ourselves. A deeply researched and transporting exploration of the legacy of slavery and its imprint on centuries of American history, How the Word is Passed illustrates how some of our country's most essential stories are hidden in plain view. Ensuring the brutal history of the trade of enslaved men, women, and children has been deeply imprinted into our present. This impassioned journey is both lyrical and moving, discussing our society and an issue-oriented topic. If you enjoyed Ibram Kendi's How to Be an Anti-Racist or Curtis Bunn's Say Their Names, you will enjoy reading How the Word is Passed. This book is available in regular and large print, audiobook, and ebook and e-audio formats. An Ugly Truth. Inside Facebook's Battle for Domination is by 2 award-winning New York Times journalists, Shira Frankel and Cecilia Kang. In this groundbreaking and sobering investigation, they detail how Facebook has become a conduit for disinformation, hate speech, and political propaganda, while still pursuing a strategy of aggressive growth that reinforces this trend. They recount the scandals and toxic culture that has created the social media giant. They interview former and current employees, investors, and policymakers to see just how damaging the social media empire has become. This well-researched and investigative look behind the affable and seemingly harmless social media giant will leave the listeners wanting more. If you enjoyed reading Facebook, The Inside Story by Stephen Levy, or Antisocial by Andrew Marnatz, then you will probably enjoy this behind-the-scenes look of Facebook. This book is available in regular print, audiobook, and e-book and e-audio formats. The Only Plane in the Sky, An Oral History of 9/11 by Garrett Graff, is an oral history of the September 11 attacks on America. This book draws on hundreds of interviews with government officials, first responders, survivors, friends and family members to record and remember events from the perspectives of many first-hand witnesses. This story flows well but leaves anyone who remembers that day a little bit heart-wrenched. This particular audiobook uses a full cast of actors to portray all of the different interviews, giving it a feeling of a drama rather than a non-fictional historical book. It is incredibly well researched and packed full of fresh first-hand accounts of that tragic day and the days following. It is very immersive, and the listener might feel themselves drawn back in time to that day and remember where they were and just what they were doing on that horrific day in September. If you liked reading 102 Minutes by Jim Dwyer or A Decade of Hope by Dennis Smith, then you will enjoy listening to The Only Plane in the Sky. This book is available in regular and large print, audiobook, and in ebook and e-audio formats. Thank you for watching this month's 5 and 5. Tune in next month for our summer reading themed 5 and 5 on oceans. If you need help finding something else to read, please contact the library. We would love to help you find your next great read.